Schreier. Tonight, we'll be honoring an archaeologist and a scholar, a fearless, brave, and heroic explorer, as well as a general in Her Majesty's Army, a gentleman in possession of dignity and class. General Sir Charles Warren is at the forefront of archaeological study in Palestine. Tonight, we will sit down with Sir Charles, trying to discover what exactly is behind this man of greatness.
I'm Yossi Manowitz.
I'm Yossi Goldshine.
Here we are with General Sir Charles Warren. Sir Warren led an expedition in the city of David that discovered a water tunnel that dates back to ancient times. This tunnel may have been instrumental in King David's conquest of the Jebusite city.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to meet you too. Alright. So, Sir Warren, tell us a bit about your life before your discovery in Jerusalem.
Well, I was born in Bangor, Wales. I attended Cheltenham College in 1854 and then went to the Royal Military College in Sandhurst. Afterwards, I joined the Royal Military Academy at Woolwich. In 1857, I was commissioned as second lieutenant in the Royal Engineers. Then, in 1864, I married my beautiful wife, Fanny Margaretta Hayden, and we now have 4 beautiful children, 2 sons and 2 daughters.
How do you get involved in this expedition?
Well, after serving in Her Majesty's Army, I was asked to accompany the Palestine Exploration Fund on an expedition to what is now Israel. The PEF was a privately funded organization created to seek out information about the Holy Land. Although it was never explicitly stated, those in Her Majesty's service that accompanied the PEF were also helpful in gathering information on the Ottomans, the nature of their government, as well as the Holy Land. This information would be later utilized for the good of the British Empire.
Concentrating on the expedition itself, how did the Ottomans feel about a bunch of English soldiers snooping around their land?
It is obvious that the Turkish government was not in favor of this expedition, so naturally, we had to bring all of our sophisticated equipment with us. Once we arrived at Jaffa, they even confiscated our equipment, and only returned it to us after the British consul finally intervened. Then we were faced with yet another problem. They required us to get a license in order to conduct our expedition. Even once we received this license, we were still prohibited from digging on the site we desired most, the Temple Mount, Hal Hamolia.
So how did you get around that restriction?
The only way we were able to get under the Temple Mount was by digging tunnels through the rock in the areas we were permitted to dig and approach the Temple Mount area from underground. Suddenly, our expedition became an underground operation, no pun intended. During our stay, we were plagued by fear of being discovered, disease, the harsh conditions of the land, as well as the land's inhabitants.
How did you determine where to begin?
Due to our thorough preparation for this experiment, we were able to select appropriate areas for approaching the Temple Mount. We sought access underground through the spring that acted as the main water source for the residents of Jerusalem thousands of years ago, and discovered what appeared to be a cave.
So tell us about this cave.
Inside the cave, we found a shaft that ascended upward. We quickly realized that the shaft was impossible to climb without the proper equipment, so we called it a day. The next day, October 24th, 1867, Sergeant Birtles and I, with the materials necessary to build scaffolding and rope ladders, climbed the shaft. The scaffolding could have failed to hold up, or a single rock could have dislodged at any time, leading to our deaths. It was the experience of a lifetime.
Can you describe the shaft for our viewers?
The shaft begins as a cave, then winds horizontally for about 28 meters, before becoming a steep shaft of about 13 meters. At the end of the steep ascent, there is a room with an arched ceiling.
Do you have any regrets about your expedition?
If we had been permitted additional excavations, we would have certainly discovered the outlet into the ancient city. This outlet would have allowed a source of water for the city during the time of siege. It was apparent that portions of the underground path to the spring were a natural phenomenon enhanced by the residents of the city in order to access water safely from within the walls.
What memories of the expedition has stuck with you till this very day?
I had the honor of walking in the footsteps of men who changed the course of history. I will forever be grateful to Her Majesty for giving me the opportunity to be a part of this expedition. And ironically, I must also thank the Ottoman authorities, who inadvertently steered me in the direction of the true city of David.
Thank you for taking out the time to be with us this evening.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.